Hi everybody, welcome back to Charlie and me, our camping vlog. As you can see, I'm out in the storage unit. We did a recent Q&A video, and if you check back on YouTube, it's probably one or two videos back. And we got a lot of questions about the electrics in a camper van, both the 12 volt electrics and the 220 volt electrics. Now, people buy vans from respected dealers, and the dealers will spend a good while, at least they should spend a good while, showing you around the van. But if you buy the van from Joe Blogs, he mightn't tell you, he's just going to show you that the taps work, that the heating works, that the lights work, that the cooker works, that the fridge works. So Teresa, one of our followers on YouTube, got onto us and said, "Hey Aaron, could you just do a basics and tell us about the electrics on a van?" This is not, I am no expert, I'm just a guy who has had copious amount of vans. I've renovated the T3, I've built the B-Bar and the Jeep, so I'm just letting you know the information that I have based on this 06 HYMER. And to be honest, most of the vans I've had, the electrics are pretty similar on all of the vans and on a caravan. Although the 12 volt on a caravan is going to be totally different to what I'm going to show you here. So let me swap cameras, and we'll start off by telling you there are two 12 volt systems on every motorhome and camper van. Yes, not just one, but two. So let's start off and we'll show you what those two systems are. So let us start off by showing you the first of the two 12 volt systems that are on your camper van. System number one is your standard 12 volt battery that runs the engine, the lights, and everything to do with the camper van. Now on here you will find a 40 amp and possibly a 30 or a 50 amp fuse. These two fuses here run the electrics that are in the van for the habitation. So you don't need to worry about anything here. Let's take a look inside. Now again, inside there is a fuse board in here, but that's for your radio, your headlights, your indicators, your demister, your brake lights, everything to do with the driving end of the van. But the end you need to know about is your camper end. Now in this van, like most vans, we have a leisure battery. In fact, in this van we have two leisure batteries, one that I got fitted when we bought the van, and every van comes with a leisure battery. I'm going to show you that in a second, but first of all, let me show you the fuse system that's on the van for the habitation end of your camper. So you have your 12 volt electrics there, and then in here, let's see if we can get some camera in here, under the driver's seat is the control unit that runs the camper van. Now I had reason to come to this last week when we were camping. For some reason, my water wouldn't pump. And in under all of this are the fuses. Now, it's written in German, okay? But let's get a better light subject onto this. There we go. It's written in German, but Google will translate everything for you. So in there are the fuses for the TV, the water pump, the heating, the reverse camera, absolutely everything. There's about 15 fuses in there under all of those. It's just hard to keep the torch, and I'm gonna give you a bit of light. In under there are all of the fuses that run all the habitation. So as I said, we were away an inch. Again, you can look back in the video, and the water pump went. It was a 7.5 amp fuse. It had just blown for no reason, absolutely no reason. I had no fuses with me, so we actually did without the water pump for the weekend. But as soon as I came home, I stuck in a 7.5 amp fuse. I now carry a little small bag of fuses from 5 amps up to 20 amps. They're in the dash, just to have them, because a fuse can blow for no reason whatsoever. Now, I mentioned leisure battery. The leisure battery for this and most motorhomes is usually under the passenger seat. And that's where my original leisure battery is. It's under the passenger seat in this motorhome. But I did fit a second one, and I also have solar. Now, if you fit solar onto your van, you will more than likely have to put it through a solar controller. I think it's an MTPP or an MPTT. It's a controller that controls how much voltage comes from the solar panel to your battery. On this van, and bear in mind, this is not a new van, it's a 06. The unit I just showed you under the driver's seat actually takes input for solar, so you can do without that controller. So Pat Horan, when I bought this van, I had my solar fitted. It's connected directly to that unit, and then I had a second battery. So let me show you our second leisure battery. Second leisure battery is fitted under here. So there I have a second leisure battery, and beside that I have an inverter, and I will talk to you about the inverter when we're talking about the 220 volts electrics in the next video. But there is my second leisure battery, and it's fused, and the first leisure battery is in under there, which is the standard leisure battery that comes with your motorhome. That compressor unit there that you would have seen in front of the leisure battery, this van has air suspension on the back, and we might touch on that. I don't think there's a need to touch on it, but we might touch on it. Right, on the 12 volt electrics, everything in your camper van is 12 volt. Your fridge runs on gas, 12 volt, and also runs on 220 volt electric. All the lighting in the van runs on 12 volt, so you don't have to be plugged in. When you're plugged in, it powers up a charger, which charges your batteries, and your lights are still all on 12 volt. Some vans will have USB points for charging your phones or devices or whatever, 12 volt. This van only has two 12 volt power points, and let me show you where they are. One of them is in here in the bathroom. So in here we have a 12 volt. Now that is not a cigarette lighter socket. It's what my father would have called a spurious 12 volt outlet. But it's 12 volts, 10 amps, and as you see beside it, we've got a 220, 230 volt power. That's in a locker in here. Pretty useless, to be honest. The second one is in my TV press, which is here. And as you see, it's just down there, again, beside a 220 volt socket. Now, what I did is, I have a cigarette lighter plugged in there, and I've run a cable through all of these presses into what I call my charging hub. And here I have an adapter that has 4 USB chargers on it. We keep our Wi-Fi plugged in here, and then I can charge devices from there. Now, also while I ran that 12 volts in, I put a reading lamp in for Deirdre, a swan neck reading lamp. So I only have 12 volts in the TV press and in the bathroom. That is it. That's all the 12 volt, and then 12 volt obviously going to the fridge. So I ran that cable in, and I now have a powering station up there for charging phones and torches. And as I said, I put 12 volt in for Deirdre as well. My TV runs on 12 volt. So plugged in there, and again, I'll just turn this camera and show you. I have just an accessory from a car accessory shop, a 3-way cigarette lighter. The one with the red light on is powering my TV. The next cigarette lighter is powering up where I just showed you where all my devices are, and they're just plugged in there, a 3-way, and I've one spare. So I have a 12 volt TV plugged in. I'm using an Amazon stick, which will be covered in another video, and it's powered by the TV, but it's all powered off that little 12 volt power point down there. There's very little that can go wrong with your electrics. It's got to be very, very simple. For example, as I said, when we were on Inch Beach, we had no water pump. It just so happened that I had no fuses, so I couldn't repair it. But I just got my torch, looked under the seat, and the first fuse, which when I translated it said water pump, was gone. I replaced that fuse when I came home, and everything was hunky-dory. So it's very, very seldom. If your lights don't come on, a couple of reasons, I would always go to the fuse board first. If your leisure batteries are fully charged, it's got to be a fuse. That or a mouse got in and ate the cable, but that rarely happens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 lights, 7 lights, including the shower, that run on 12 volt. And I've never had problems with them. In fact, I changed one of the lights to an LED strip recently because the fluorescent bulb went. We have the leisure battery. I've way too much power because we plug in everywhere. We don't do wild camping. I've way too much 12 volt power in this, but it's best to have it. So that's the 12 volt system. You've got your car system, which runs all the car electrics, all your engine electrics, like on a standard car. That's what's running the Fiat Ducato front end. Then you've got your habitation end, which is in under the seat. First battery in under the passenger seat. My leisure battery happens to be in just opposite my dinette, in under the sofa. And that is it. You can run extensions in for USBs. I would suggest to anybody, do what we did there. Run an extension in so you have somewhere to charge your phones, or for charging your laptops, or just using USB points. Otherwise, you're charging it off your cigarette lighter on the dash. I hope this video is of some help to you guys. The next one I'll do is we'll take a look at the 220/240 volt electrics, the mains electrics on a camper van, which again, things seldom go wrong, but if they go wrong, it's fixable. And we'll do that in the next video. I'm Aaron from Charlie HYMER Camping Vlog. Thanks for watching. Take care.